Hi everybody and welcome to my channel, Show Me Cinema, your source for entertainment news and movie review. Today I'm actually doing a movie review, which is kind of crazy because movie theaters are still closed across the country. This review is actually going to be of an older movie, the 2008 Indiana Jones film, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So I wanted to tackle this movie for a couple reasons. One, Indiana Jones 5 is being worked on right now and is expected to hit theaters in 2022. You know, just right around the corner, right? Second reason, I wanted to revisit the movie and see if it's really as bad as everybody on the internet says it is. So who knows? Maybe if this goes well, I'll tackle some more of the critically condemned movies out there. Alright, listen everybody. This movie is pretty fun and relatively inoffensive unless you fall into the group of purists who think that anything other than the original trilogy is complete sacrilege. But if you can get past the ridiculousness of some of the scenes, there's some quality moments here, especially between Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf's character. I'll talk more about that later. I really like how this film opens. It's 1957 in Nevada. We have a group of teenagers driving a car through an open field, listening to Elvis Presley on the radio. It's fun, it's high energy, and there's a lot of beautiful camera work, especially in those first handful of shots. It does get a little weird when the kids get back onto the street and come up along the Soviet vehicles. They lean in and challenge the driver to race them. For some reason, the Russian driver is like super excited about it. I think the best part of the movie is actually between Indiana Jones and the Shia LaBeouf character, Mutt Williams. Surprising, yes? Mutt originally tracks down Indy to help him find his mom, who has been captured by the KGB. Over the course of the film, we see these two characters work together, develop a friendship, and, spoiler alert, find out that they're father and son. Look at that! Indy has a great line in the first scene where he meets Mutt and he's all like, "You don't have to get so sore all the time just to prove how tough you are." Special moments like this continue throughout the movie as they travel through Peru, make discoveries in the catacombs, and bond over shared experiences. Overall, Shia has some really committed acting moments, especially with Ox, the family friend who's gone insane thanks to working with the Crystal Skull for too long. It's also great to see Karen Allen back in the role as Marion. She still has that beautiful, charming smile from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and she has some really good exchanges with Indy. For example, at one point Indy's talking about all the other women he's dated over the years, and he says, "They all had the same problem. They weren't you, honey." It's cute. The movie is actually really funny. It uses humor well. And this might be an unpopular thing to say, but I love when Indy swings on a rope and completely misses the truck. And the dry quicksand scene is chock full of solid comedic bits. Mutt goes off to find a rope. Marion decides that now's a good time to reveal, "Hey, Mutt is your son!" His response is suddenly, "Well, why didn't you make him finish school?" Which is funny because up until now, he's been really supportive of Mutt's dropout tendencies. I also love how Mutt comes back with a snake instead of a rope, because we all know how much Indy hates snakes, and now he's relying on one in order to be rescued. And now, on to the bad. It's best to start with the most hated moment in the movie. The fridge scene. So, shortly after Indy escapes the Soviets, he finds his way onto this nuclear test site. Not realizing where he is until 10 seconds before a countdown, he quickly hides himself in a lead fridge, and Indy somehow survives. This nuking the fridge moment is the equivalent of Fonzie's jumping the shark bit in Happy Days, when the gimmick becomes an indication of a declining change in style. Things had drifted so far away from reality that audiences couldn't suspend their disbelief anymore. However, George Lucas, you know, the guy who wrote all this, argued that Indy's survival would be 50-50 based on his research. I love that. I would love to see George Lucas's research, because heck, I don't know anything about it. But this really encapsulates the bulk of the issues with the movie. Illogical and unrealistic occurrences. Boy howdy, the internet loves this stuff. There's been YouTube channels that have made a living off of it. And like, I understand it's important to point out illogical flaws in a film, but it can't be the sole criteria by which we're measuring and analyzing movies. Unfortunately for this movie, there's a lot of unrealistic issues. So let's talk about some more. So after Indy emerges from the fridge, he looks up and sees the mushroom cloud, and he's definitely probably close enough to it that in real life, he would be exposed to radiation. So, Mutt's name. The character says that he gave himself this name, and I know this isn't a big deal, but like, why? Why would you name yourself Mutt? And then we have the car chase scene in the Amazon jungle, where we have a lot of issues. Mutt is swinging on vines like Tarzan. We have killer monkeys that conveniently don't attack the heroes, but do attack the Soviet agents, and the killer ants. See, these ants read like a ripoff from the Beatles in the Mummy movie, where they swarm up somebody's body and starts eating away their flesh, except they're ants. At one point, they carry off a human body and build a little ant ladder to get to one of the other bad guys. What? The chase finally ends with Marion telling the group to trust her as she drives the car off a cliff and is safely caught by a nearby tree, then to be gently lowered in the Amazon River. She's smart. And then our heroes survive traveling down a series of 3 waterfalls, all of them appearing to be about on par with Niagara Falls. And they survive! Amazing! I actually kind of like the idea of a Mesoamerican lost city combined with extraterrestrial beings, but the execution of it created this tonal dissonance. Just a fancy way of saying these two things don't seem to belong together. There's something about these CGI crystal skeletons sitting on these ancient thrones that honestly feels off-putting. They're technically not aliens, but I'm not even gonna get into that. And the CG of the aliens being merged into one body looked bad 12 years ago, let alone the year 2020. And the flying saucer spaceship that they all leave in, that all just doesn't look like it quite fits. Here's what I think. If the creators had built a different alien and spaceship design that was more in line with the ancient world aesthetic of the rest of the movie, the whole picture would have benefited greatly. Also, Mac is the worst. I know I haven't talked about this character yet, but he's really dumb. He's with Indy at the beginning of the movie, then betrays Indy to the Soviets, then convinces Indy that he's actually a double agent with the CIA, then betrays Indy again because he wants all the gold from the Lost City. The back and forth is really annoying, and the worst part is, Indy wastes a significant amount of time trying to save Mac at the end of the movie. I know you're the good guy, Indy, but the audience has never liked this character anyway, so I think we're ready to just let him go. Couple final thoughts about Mutt. There's this moment at the end of the movie when the characters have all survived, right? And he approaches Indiana Jones and says, "Why didn't you stick around, Dad?" It's a real moment of vulnerability for the character, and you think that there's gonna be this special exchange between father and son, and it cuts to the wedding scene. Missed opportunity. Everybody's happy, the couple kisses, the church doors open, and the wind blows the fedora off of the coat rack and lands right in front of Mutt Williams' feet. This is clearly a foreshadowing of all the adventures that Mutt could go on as he lifts the fedora towards his head, but Indy pulls the fedora out of his hands before he gets any crazy ideas. And this leads me to perhaps my boldest statement of the whole video. I want Shia back. No one was really saying this back in 2008 when the movie came out. Shia was still working on the Transformers franchise and really wasn't being taken seriously by anyone. Since then, he's gotten even weirder with his performance art pieces, but he had a really great year last year with the films Peanut Butter Falcon and Honey Boy. I think Shia has always been a good actor. I mean, he's a weirdo, but he's fully capable of giving this franchise another shot. Besides, Harrison Ford is 77 years old. I think he could use a little bit of help. Sadly, I don't think this is ever gonna happen. Shia burnt a lot of bridges over the years, especially with Steven Spielberg, and there's been no mention of his character during the pre-production of Indy 5. That about wraps it up. For this review, I give Indiana Jones 81 fedoras, because it doesn't really matter. If you want to watch this movie or any of the Indiana Jones films, they are all available on Netflix. Are there any other critically condemned movies you think I should tackle? Let me know in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week for more reviews and some entertainment news. All right, should we do one more singing, or just is that good?